This is the beginning of the end for consumerism. Hey sisters, welcome back to my channel. My name is Naima. Thank you so much for tuning into yet another video of mine. A while back on my channel, I did 2 Sephora favorites videos. They weren't specifically made for the savings event. They were just sharing my favorite products. In those videos, I tried the products on and actually created a full face so you all could see how the products worked and performed. And that's what I'm going to be doing this year for my recommendations video. Off camera, I actually finished my favorite brow product. It is now completely empty and it is from Huda Beauty, and this is their Balm Brows Micro Shade Brow Pencil. I used the shade 6, which is rich brown. I actually did contact Sephora's customer service, and this product has been it's being slowly phased out, so they're going to be removing it from the Sephora website. They have very limited shades available. They don't have this shade, but I love how thin and precise this brow pencil is, and for it to be so thin, it does not break, and it's just so easy to get your brows very, very crisp. If they do have your shade available, definitely pick it up because it is amazing. Also, one of the more affordable pencils at Sephora. I believe it's only 17 bucks, so highly recommend if you can get your hands on your shade. If not, the Sephora collection brow pencil is the next best option. There are certain steps in makeup routines that I am not willing to pay a lot of money for. 30 bucks for brow pencils, I'm just not here for it. I had to look through my collection to find a primer that was worthy of talking about, because I typically use my e.l.f. primer. That's what I use in almost every video, but I forgot about this little hidden gem. This one is from Rare Beauty, and it is their Pore Diffusing Primer. So I have had this one in my collection for some time, almost a year, and I did not even pick it up and try it until a few weeks ago. I know, it's horrible. You guys know that silicone feeling with primers. This one, it has a little bit of silicone feel, but for me, I'm like a texture person. I can't do like the overly silicone primers. This one feels like a hybrid between like that silicone feel and a moisturizer. It just feels so nourishing to the skin, and it does provide pore filling effect. So I really like this one. Y'all see how much better that looks? I don't think I have used this foundation on my channel, but I have used it on my Instagram. It is the Haus Labs Tricole Skin Tech Foundation, and I wear the shade 440 Medium Deep Cool. At first I was hesitant to purchase just because I had a ton of foundation in my collection, so that's why I was kind of hesitant. I'm like, no, I already have a bunch of stuff. But when I finally did pick this up, when I tell you shocked is like an understatement. It's just so skin-like and pretty. It feels so lightweight. It's definitely buildable, and I love the fact that this shade range does not run super warm. Even though I am warm tone, I do feel like when some brands release complexion, and it's really, really bad with concealer, it's like, yeah, I have warm undertones, but I don't need the foundation to look just pure yellow. And with this one, it is more cool and mellow. Once everything is on, it just looks flawless and seamless, and it just balances out. It's a perfect all-season complexion product. I could see this being worn in the winter and the summer just for how light it is. So it's beautiful on the skin. I mean, it just feels so light. Love this buildable coverage. This was a killer release, and we won't even talk about how great this looks in flash photography, because I took Christmas photos, and this was the foundation I was wearing, and it looked so good. Some more foundations that I really, really love come from these 3 brands: Shiseido, Ilia, and Danessa Myricks. All 3 of these offer medium coverage. They are super, super lightweight on the skin. The shade match is incredible for all of these. They literally melt into my complexion What I really like about these three is, again, it gives you that your skin but better kind of look. I find that each one of these complement problematic skin very, very well. If you have acne or texture, these just lay beautifully over top. They also work very, very well in conjunction with other products in skincare. This is the Hourglass Vanish Concealer, and I wear a few shades in this, but this one here is Maple. And I love this concealer. Very, very creamy, which is what I like, but it has more coverage. This is leaning more medium to full. It's something about this concealer that I don't care what concealer I use, I always come back to this one. And this is actually my fourth one. It is thicker, but it doesn't feel heavy on the skin. This one has more of like a whipped texture, if that makes sense, whereas a lot of concealers are more like liquidy. This one has like a little bit more substance to it, which is why I love it, because I have deep set eyes and I also have dark circles. I'm telling y'all, it's just something about it. It's just something about it. A classic in my makeup collection has to be the Dior Forever Skin Corrector. I have this in multiple shades. I love to use this to color correct as well as brighten. It is such a beautiful, creaseless, hydrating formula. The most underrated concealer release has to be the Milk Makeup Future Fluid. Another great option if you have fine lines and wrinkles, and the shade range is impeccable. Let's talk about this cream bronzer. Y'all just did my girl wrong. Y'all did not give her flowers, because this bronzer still to date is the best cream bronzer I have ever used, and I feel like I own almost everyone that's on the market. So this cream bronzer is from ABH, and what is the official name? It is, oh, it just says cream bronzer, and I wear the shade Chestnut. And this showed the girlies how to do cream bronzer correctly. It was so good for so many reasons. First of all, the shade range was fantastic. It's just so inclusive with the shades. So this one was a great launch for that reason, but also the formula. It's one of those products where you apply it and the product on its own realizes, oh, I'm on skin, and it just adapts. It melts in. I think the reason that some people are kind of skeptical about using cream bronzer is, especially when they're beginners, is, you know, is this gonna ruin my makeup? Is this, you know, gonna blend in and not give me any trouble? And this is your girl. So what I do is I take my brush, I dip into the product, and then I swirl it in the cap. Y'all can see how much product I have in there. And then I just go in. When you see this up close, y'all, I'm telling you, this is in a league of its own. This looks like a filter. So if you have any texture, anything like that, especially in this cheek area, like me, I have texture on this side. It looks so smooth in airbrush. It does not accentuate any texture. And typically, you know, cream bronzers are just kind of like, you know, whatever. Like they add color, but they're not, you know, anything to write home about. This one, child, I'm writing mama, papa, auntie, the babies, the dog, everybody get a letter. Now, come on, sisters. You know this would not be a recommendation if I did not mention the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Bronzer. But I did want to offer a more affordable alternative. I don't hear people talking about the Sephora Collection bronzer. I think they just came out with a new one. Nevertheless, this bronzer is very, very pigmented. A little definitely goes a long way. This is such an affordable, high-quality, buttery bronzer. This is the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. This is the Ultra Blur, so it's the white cap. If you think that the original is blurring and flawless and snatched, you have to get this one. And this is the honey shade. So let me shut up and just show y'all. My goodness, look at that. Doesn't look dry, cakey, nothing. It's just set to perfection. Ladies, I know that sometimes we just want to try something different when we go into Sephora, any makeup store really. But if it's not broke, sometimes it's best not to fix it. I'm going to keep this short because I've talked about these a multitude of times. I love them. The finish is stunning. I've been using Peach Pie for my everyday looks. Now, I may have critiqued the eyeshadow formula, but the blush formula is still that girl. This is, in my humble opinion, the best blush formula you can get at Sephora. And y'all probably know what I'm gonna say. It is the Patrick Ta Blush Duos. I am gonna be using the shade She's Baked today. This kind of like, I don't wanna say terracotta, even though it kind of looks like that on camera, but this is more of like a plum, slightly purple, brown blush in one. It just looks so stinking pretty. Beautiful, universal blush shade. I could see this being a good shade for brides too. And I'm going in with the cream side because the cream formula is so nice. Like, it's one of those cream formulas where you don't have to use the powder because it's not gonna look super oily, even with wear. Because I have worn the cream side of the duo in the summer. It does not turn into a greasy mess, even with 7 or 8 hours of wear. It's a beautiful blush formula that really does stay put on the skin. You don't have to worry about doing touch-ups with this blush either. Even they're really bright shades. Like, I have the shade She's a Doll, which is a more cool tone pink. That one lasts 7-8 hours and no touch-ups. I'm just gonna take a larger brush with nothing on it and go over that just to make sure it's seamless. And again, this is only the cream. Along with the Patrick Ta blushes, the ones from Danessa Myricks are unmatched. Hands down, the best cream formula. Cream blushes can be very finicky, but the longevity, the pigment, the variety of shades these two brands offer, phenomenal. When it comes to eyeshadow at Sephora, my #1 brands are Danessa Myricks and Pat McGrath Labs. What I'm going to show you guys is not from either one of those brands, and that's because the brands themselves are going to have better deals on their website than the Sephora sale. You may as well just go straight to the brand because brands typically have like 30% off. So I'm going to use the Natasha Denona Glam Palette. I don't know what type of deals Natasha Denona has on her site, like for a spring sale. This bronze palette is one of my favorite palettes of all time. This thing is so beat up, like I almost don't even want to show y'all. I can't even tell you guys the shade name because this palette is magnetic. The shades went flying out, so I just stuck them back in. So my, the times have changed. I used to talk y'all's ears off about eyeshadow, and now I'm sitting here speeding through the eyeshadow portion. So like I mentioned, Pat McGrath Labs, Danessa Myricks, they have great sales on their site. And I know Pat McGrath, her spring sale typically goes like you spend $150 and get 30% off, spend $250, get maybe 40% off. I don't remember exactly how it goes. If you know you're not going to spend $150, then of course just pick it up from Sephora with the rest of the stuff you're going to get. Essentially, go where you're going to get the biggest discount. Okay, so let's put on some mascara, and I'm gonna be using the Essence mascara. So I'm not gonna be recommending a mascara from Sephora just because I feel like mascara is another product that I don't want to spend a lot of money on, so I don't. And I did try one mascara from the Sephora collection that I didn't like. I know they have a new one out, but I haven't tried it, so I can't recommend it. I'm going to be going in with the One Size On Till Dawn. Now, I know a lot of people were critiquing this setting spray and saying that it is too heavy, it applies like a hairspray. Listen, If you have oily skin especially, and you want to wear makeup this summer, you need something a little bit heavier to keep your skin in check for longer. Once it's applied, you don't even feel it, you don't smell it anymore. Oily skin girls, definitely pick that up for this summer heat because you're gonna need it, and it's gonna keep your makeup in place. Y'all should already know what I'm about to do for a lip. Molasses, the Sephora collection. This is the one that I love, but they have a ton of different colors, so you know, definitely look through the shades and get the ones that you like. But this formula is what's sickening. So pretty, so easy to blend, we love it. And I'm gonna go in with the Huda Beauty cream lipstick in the shade Raj. If you want to know my thoughts on the 3 highlighted products, check out my lip combinations video. It'll be linked in the description box. I wanted to give some love to the Sephora collection lip products. Their glosses, their liquid lipsticks are some of the best affordable lip products, and you're going to get the biggest discount regardless of tier. Definitely check those out. The NARS Power Matte lipsticks are some of the most comfortable transfer resistant lipsticks I have ever tried, and the shades are to die for. This is the final look using all of my recommended products. This is the beginning of the end for consumerism. Everybody is over it. I'm over it. I'm hearing that y'all are over it. Spending bukus of money just because a brand or a store or whatever is advertising a sale, just overrated. I'm tired. You really need a few OG good products in your collection. Restock things that you know and love, and just pick up a few little things to treat yourself that's new that you want to try, because at the end of the day, we're just girls in the world. It wouldn't be a haul if it wasn't at least one new thing. So definitely treat yourself, but don't go overboard, because I'm telling you, you don't need it. And yeah, I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, sisters.